The evening had stretched itself into a gentle quiet, the kind that comes only when the day has folded away its colors and the night begins to hum softly across the world. The last traces of sunlight lingered like faint brushstrokes of rose and amber in the distance, slowly dissolving into deeper blues that would soon welcome the stars. On the edge of a small village by the sea, there stood a narrow path made of smooth stones. The path wound gently, like a ribbon unrolling, guiding the traveler past whitewashed cottages and gardens where lavender swayed lightly in the ocean breeze. Each step carried with it the scent of salt air mixed with the sweet aroma of herbs left to dry on windowsills. It was along this path that you walked, slowly, unhurried, your body light, your mind even lighter, as though each step carried you deeper into a calm embrace. The village seemed timeless, neither old nor new, existing in the tender space between memory and dream. Candles glowed faintly behind windows, casting amber circles onto cobblestones, and the sound of the waves lapping against the shore became the rhythm of your breathing. The sea was near. You could feel it before you saw it. The openness, the spaciousness, the way the horizon seemed to invite you forward. As you drew closer, the houses became fewer, and the air grew cooler, touched by the softness of mist rising from the water. At the very end of the path, where land met sand, stood an old lantern. It rested on a tall iron post, its frame touched with the quiet marks of time, yet still steady, still glowing with a light that pulsed like a heartbeat. It wasn't bright or harsh, but gentle, an amber glow that seemed less like fire and more like memory itself. You found yourself standing before the lantern, listening. Around you, the tide whispered. Seagulls had fallen silent for the night. Only the hush of waves remained, carrying a lullaby that seemed older than the earth. There was a bench nearby, weathered but welcoming. You sat, resting your hands softly on your knees, feeling the faint warmth of the wood, as though the sun had left a little of its essence there just for you. From this place, the sea stretched endlessly. Its surface mirrored the last remnants of twilight, indigo and violet blending seamlessly into the coming night. You could not tell where the water ended and the sky began. It all felt like one vast and gentle expanse, infinite, yet intimate. The lantern flickered beside you, steady in its rhythm, as if it knew you had come to sit and breathe with it. And so you did. You breathed in slowly, the air cool and pure, carrying with it the faint scent of seaweed and driftwood. You breathed out even more slowly, letting every thought, every weight drift out with your breath like tiny paper boats released into the tide. For a long while, there was nothing but this: your breath, the ocean, the lantern's glow. Time slipped away, not lost, but softened, like a stone polished smooth by water. And then, almost without noticing, your eyes were drawn upward. Above you, the first stars had appeared. They were delicate at first, shy in their arrival, but soon more followed, scattering themselves generously across the velvet sky. The stars seemed alive. Some twinkled brightly, like laughter in the distance. Others glowed softly, like friends keeping a quiet vigil. Together, they formed constellations, patterns ancient and enduring, reminders that the sky has always been a map for those who wander. You leaned back slightly, feeling your body sink into the bench and let your gaze wander among the stars. There was Orion, with his belt shining confidently. There was the gentle curve of the Big Dipper, like a ladle waiting to pour silver across the heavens. And far above, faint but steady, the North Star stood watch, guiding travelers just as it had for centuries. A thought came to you, not as a command, not as an idea to chase, but as a gentle whisper. You are a traveler too, not only of paths and seas, but of time, of moments, of dreams. Every breath you take is a step along an unseen journey, and tonight, beneath this sky, you are exactly where you are meant to be. The waves continued to rise and fall, and as you listened, they began to sound almost like voices, soft, ancient voices telling you stories in a language older than words. They spoke of journeys across oceans, of tides that have always known how to return home, of moons that have guided countless souls into peaceful rest. You closed your eyes for a moment, listening with your whole being, and in that darkness behind your eyelids, you saw it. The ocean, vast and glowing, reflecting not only the stars above, but the stars within you. The lantern hummed faintly beside you, its light constant, like a friend who never leaves. You imagined that it had been here for generations, watching over the shore, guiding fishermen home, greeting wanderers who arrived with tired feet, offering a glow to those who needed it most. And tonight, it was here for you. When you opened your eyes again, the horizon was fully dark, painted only with the shimmer of stars. The sea had become a mirror of the sky, both endless, both filled with quiet brilliance. Somewhere down the beach, you noticed a small boat tied gently to a wooden post. It swayed with the tide, its ropes creaking softly. You did not need to board it. It was enough to know it was there, ready, waiting, like a reminder that journeys need not always be taken with feet or sails. Sometimes they are taken with breath, with thought, with dreams. The air grew cooler still, brushing against your skin like a tender hand. You wrapped yourself in its calmness, letting it settle into your shoulders, your chest, your very heartbeat. And then came the moon. Slowly, steadily, it rose from the horizon, silver and serene, casting a gentle path across the water. The moonlight touched the waves, turning them into ribbons of light, leading directly to where you sat. It was as though the moon itself had laid a bridge across the sea just for you, inviting you to wander, if only with your imagination. You followed that path with your eyes, tracing it until it dissolved into the infinite. And in that moment, you felt it, the vastness of existence, the softness of your place within it. You were small, yes, but never insignificant. You were part of the pattern, like a single star in a constellation, shining quietly, contributing to the beauty of the whole. Your breath grew slower, deeper. Each inhale brought in the night's calm. Each exhale released the day's remnants. Slowly, peacefully, Your body seemed to dissolve into the rhythm of the sea and the sky. The lantern's glow softened further, as though matching your breath, dimming and brightening in harmony with your chest rising and falling. Its light was steady, patient, like the gentle heartbeat of the earth itself. Somewhere in the distance, a bell tolled softly, a sound carried by the wind from a church tower deep in the village. Its notes were low, resonant, spaced apart like drops of water falling into a still pond. Each tone lingered in the air, blending with the hush of waves, reminding you of the passage of time, though time no longer mattered here. The stars had multiplied